All to order. Welcome everyone back from Thanksgiving. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did. 5 pounds heavier tells me I did. We'd like to begin this meeting with our prayer and our pledges. Please stand.
Please stand. Lord, during this festive holiday season, we pray that you will be with us in all that we do and plan. Remember those who may struggle during this time of year and share the gift of peace and joy with them. Thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. While we have a vision, talents, and abilities, only you can see the end of every beginning in perfect detail. We pray that your love shines during this time and that we reflect on you in our actions, attitudes, and behaviors. May we be united in love and fellowship and bring us closer to your presence. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj. Okay, now let's go straight on to recognitions.
Yes, so we have a lot of recognitions today, but we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're actually going to start with our Warrior program until some of our students are still coming in from traffic, so we will give them a couple of minutes. But first, we'd like to read about our Southwest ISD Warrior program. Recently, they've been honored as an outstanding cultural initiative at this year's MASBA conference, and they stand as a beacon of success and inclusivity within Southwest ISD. This innovative program encourages students to embody Southwest ISD's core values of service, growth, and results. From its beginning in the 2016-17 school year, with 17 students earning Warrior status, the program has grown to 639 students choosing to participate in the 2022-23 academic year across 6 secondary campuses. Not only has the program been recognized and rewarded academic achievements, participation, community service, and personal growth, but it has also secured more than $62,750 in scholarships from the Friends of Southwest ISD Golf Tournament and other donors. Current results from this academic year showcase the program's profound impact with nearly 1,500 service hours, a 50% reduction in the failure rate compared to the previous year, and an impressive 550 students achieving Warrior status in the first grading period. The Warrior program is a testament to the Southwest ISD's dedication to foster a diverse, inclusive, and thriving educational environment. On behalf of all the coaches who lead the SWISD Warrior program, we have Athletic Director Peter Wagner and Assistant Athletic Director Sandra Hernandez here to accept this recognition this evening.
Yes. Okay, good, okay. That's okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Pete, are you gonna bring your kids up that are here? Or?
We didn't bring them because they're got basketball.
Oh, okay, all right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
We'll bring them for the next one.
Okay, all right.
Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
How about that tie?
Thank you.
I think I want to them.
All right, next. All right. Okay. Next, we would like to recognize the Blue Santa program. For many years, the Southwest Communities and Action Committee has worked with law enforcement, community agencies, Southwest ISD, and South San ISD to celebrate and pay tribute to our public servants who put their lives on the line to help keep our communities safe. South San Antonio ISD will host the Blue Santa press conference announcing the official event on December 5th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. at Benavides Elementary. Everybody is welcome to attend. On December 9th, 2023, Blue Santa will ring in the holiday season when he arrives in the SAPD Blue Eagle helicopter at Millers Pond Community Center. Blue Santa will lead the parade starting at 10 a.m. with City of San Antonio officials, Bexar County officials, special guests, community, school district representatives, and organizations through the Southwest ISD and South San neighborhoods for approximately 2.5 miles and join the Millers Pond Community Center holiday celebration. The theme of this year's event is Blue Santa's Texas Holiday Parade. I will now hand over the recognition of the Blue Santa poster contest winners to Ms. Victoria Galleta and Mr. Richard Flores.
Good evening. Today I want to announce our poster winners from each of our categories. So in elementary, for honorable mention, we have Nicole Wheeler from Indian Creek. Okay. And I'm not sure if, yeah, because there's so many people outside too. Nicole Wheeler?
Nicole Wheeler.
Okay. In third place, from Bob Hope Elementary, Mallory Jo Luna. In second place, also from Bob Hope Elementary, Edward Rosales. And first place with one of the posters that will be used for the advertising for the parade is also from Bob Hope, Eli Duarte.
Great job.
Congratulations.
Do you want to do a picture all together of them, or this?
Why don't we do each group? Each group would be good. Yes, and the Bob Hope Fine Arts teacher is here as well, so I'd like for him to come up. Mr. Gill, come on up. Fantastic job, thank you.
I'd like to recognize the parents of these wonderful individuals. If you're in the audience, si los padres por favor se pueden parar de estos estudiantes, les queremos dar las gracias. El programa de Blue Santa es algo que hemos tenido aquí en el distrito por muchos años y los quiero invitar todos el 9 de diciembre, que si quieren venir a pasar para festejar con nosotros, los invito porque es algo bien bonito que nosotros y toda la comunidad de Southwest hace por los niños. Muchas gracias, niños, que participaron.
The next category was 10 to 11-year-olds, and so the honorable mention from McNair Middle School was Andrea Huerta. Andrea? In third place, also from McNair Middle School, Fabian Alvarez. In second place, also from McNair Middle School, Abriana Jimenez. And for the clean sweep from McNair Middle School, Zoe Zambrano in first place. Their art teacher is Miss Monica Guerra. I don't know if Miss Guerra was able to make it tonight, but I did want to say her name out loud.
Good job, mija.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Stand right there on that side. If the parents, these wonderful students are in the audience, if you will please stand so we can recognize you.
Ready? Look right here, sorry. Ready? And smile. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, thank you so much.
And now we move to the 12 to 14-year-old category. For the honorable mention from Scobie Middle School, Aliyah Martinez. In third place, from Resnick Middle School, Cassandra Davison. In second place, from Scobie Middle School, Jaslyn Lopez. And in first place, also, the poster will be used for the advertising of the parade. In first place, from Resnick Middle School, is Ariana Zoe Guerrero. I know that the Scobie art teacher is here, Miss Teresa Gonzalez. Gutierrez, I'm sorry, my fault. Gutierrez, I caught myself, sorry. The Resnick art teacher was not able to join us, but that is Noelle Anderson.
Smile. And 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
If the parents of these wonderful individuals will please stand up.
Want to congratulate all the participants. We had many submissions from all of the schools, so we're very proud of everyone, but especially these that took home honors.
And just an FYI, these students do receive a cash prize from the committee. It will be presented to them at the Blue Santa, on the day of Blue Santa, on stage, and they also get to ride on Santa Seat. I would like to thank Ms. Galleta and Mr. Flores, because for many years, they have done this hard work of putting on this event. It is not an easy task. I know that next year is our year to host, if I remember correctly, but even when we're not hosting, it's still a lot of work, and I'd like to thank both of y'all for all you do for this beautiful community event that has truly been a long tradition. I would say at least 20 years, right? Yeah, so thank you. Hope we'll see all these people and many more during our parade, so thank you. Thank you very much. The board will also be participating, and we'll be having a float. We'll have little candies that we'll be giving out, so please join us.
Don't throw them from the float.
We will throw it.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our Students of the Month. We'll see who's here. Today, I know that we have Nathaniel here. Nathaniel Orduna, if you'll please come up. Nathaniel is from Hidden Coast STEAM Academy. Nathaniel has exhibited a fantastic transformation with his effort and behavior and within his classwork since last year. He has shown dedication to wanting to learn within the classroom, and he is learning to advocate for himself. He has learned to be self-aware of the areas he needs to grow in and make constant attempts to improve in those areas, even when it goes against the choices of his peers. When Nathaniel is around, he is always trying to put a smile on your face or make you laugh. He's excited to know that he can play football for the Dragons and in the future, and know his education comes first in order to achieve that goal. Those who have known Nathaniel these past few years know he is making wiser choices for himself and should be recognized for his efforts. And he's not letting anything get in his way of staying in the right path for this year.
If we can have Nathaniel's family members, please stand up. We'd like to recognize you.
And I'm just gonna make a call. Is Giselle Rodriguez here? Giselle? Okay. Actually, go ahead and just read her recognition? Okay, absolutely. All right, so for Resident Middle School, they're recognizing Giselle Rodriguez. Giselle is a definition of a role model at Resident Middle School. In the first 9 weeks, she held an average of 98%. She is consistently focused, actively participating, and advocates for her learning in class. Giselle doesn't focus on being the best or getting the highest grades, but focuses on her peers. She quickly drops what she is doing to lend others a hand without hesitation. You can sense her excitement at school when you see her in the hallways. Not only she is focused academically, but she is also involved in sports, theater, and mariachi. Giselle is a student who inspires daily and is a perfect candidate for the board to recognize. Giselle is a dedicated student who loves learning. She excels in each of her classes and participates in extracurricular activities. Each day, Giselle brings a learning attitude to class. Keep up the fantastic work, Giselle. And then, do we have Mia Sandoval here? All right, great. Go ahead and come on up. It is with great honor that Southwest Legacy recognizes senior Mia Sandoval. Mia is a proud member of the Southwest Legacy varsity soccer team and is a member of the CTE medical pathway. Mia is the definition of resilience, as she can withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Mia is a model student, always maintaining good grades while working on the weekends. Mia has a great attitude and maintains a can-do mindset through every situation. She is a gift to have at Southwest Legacy. We are very proud of her and know she will continue to do amazing things in the future. Way to go, Mia.
Mia's mom is in the way back. Can somebody let her squeeze in, because I want Mia's mom to be able to see her. So please let Mia's mom come. Or Mia's family. I don't want Mia's family to miss this.
There she is.
And if all our contestants can come up.
Take one more picture.
I remember this.
Congratulations. Keep up the great work.
I don't believe so. No.
That good?
Thank you.
Okay, before we go on behalf of the school board and the school district, we'd like to extend our condolences to a couple of families. First being the Trejo family. Linda Trejo passed away, who'd been with the district for many years, and many of us have known that family for many years. And secondly, the Fields family. Carolyn Fields, a past board member whom I had the pleasure of serving with, also passed away, and so we want both families to know that our thoughts and prayers are with you all. Thank you. At this time, did anyone sign up to speak? Okay. That has been today, the most exciting. The children, that's why we are here, right, one? We're here for the children. And the rest is going to be business, so if the children and the families would like to be excused at this time, you may. You may leave at this time, and then we'll continue. Thank you. So many. Board members, with your permission, I am going to adjust the agenda a little bit. I'm going to move item 8A next. And that is consider approval of the naming of the new elementary number 12. Dr. Ball?
Yes, Mr. Board President and board members, the district is projected to open up a new elementary in the spring of 2026, and that is a wonderful opportunity for our district. The district has followed CW local board policy to submit the board a name to the board. There is an individual that for nearly 5 decades, Mr. Juan M. Alvarado, has been a steady advocate for our students, teachers, and the betterment of our district. Mr. Alvarado's journey of service began with sharp observation and a commitment to excellence. His dedication to improving the learning environment for our children was evident from the very beginning. When faced with a neglected cafeteria, unpleasant odors, he fearlessly spoke up and took action, initiating a series of transformative changes that would shape the trajectory of the service to our community. As a member of PTA, Mr. Alvarado demonstrated exceptional leadership by rallying parents and organizing fundraisers to ensure our teachers had essential resources, such as fans for classrooms in the absence of air conditioning. He was also among the first to advocate for a stipend for bilingual teachers. His tireless efforts did not stop there. They propelled him into the role of PTA president, where he continued to amplify the voices for our community members. Breaking barriers, Mr. Alvarado became the first Hispanic member of the Southwest ISD Board of Trustees. This milestone was not without challenges. Despite facing threats and isolation, Mr. Alvarado remained
resolute in his mission to serve our district's children. His underlying dedication to the well-being and education for advancement remained the guiding principle for him. His daughter, Cynthia, encountered the repercussion of his courage when she received a call threatening his life if he did not resign from the board. These threats against their family only strengthened Mr. Alvarado's resolve in emphasizing the sacrifices made to pursue a better future for all of Southwest ISD students. During Mr. Alvarado's time on the board, he strongly advocated for equitable opportunities for every student and improved working conditions for all educators. His vision and determination laid the groundwork for positive change, ensuring our district growth and success. He was instrumental in starting the district-wide mariachi program at Southwest. He believed music was a great way for our young people and families to honor their heritage. He did not stop until we launched the mariachi program at Southwest. Started from just one middle school and growing into one of the district's most beloved programs. His presence and volunteer work over the last 50 years defined the person he is and remains today. Although he no longer serves the district in an official capacity, Mr. Alvarado continues to actively support our students and educators. He can often be seen at events, at games, at campuses, still continuing the dedication to our community. Today we stand with gratitude for all that Mr. Alvarado has done. So board members, at this time, we would ask that the board approve the recommendation of naming the new elementary, Mr. Juan M. Alvarado Elementary School.
At this time, fellow board members, I entertain a motion.
I move. I second.
We have a motion, a second, that we name our elementary number 12, Juan M. Alvarado Elementary. Before we vote, I'm going to take a point of privilege, and, you know, Juan, you know this. You were my mentor. You and Mike. I'll never forget the day 23 years ago when I got a phone call from you, and you said, Mr. Vasquez, we think you should run for the board, and I did. And from the day that I got elected, I always depended on you and Mike to show me the way. And the one thing that stayed with me, I always knew that, because sometimes I had you come tell, well, you got to talk to Mike. And sometimes Mike would come and talk to me, well, you got to talk to Juan. And so I always knew that I needed the okay from both of you. But the one thing that never left my mind, that you always said, is never forget, we do this for the children. Never forget. And I have never forgotten. I still hear you in the back of my head telling me that. And it was always all children, no matter where they come from, no matter what language they speak, what color they are, it's all children, because if we do it for all, it's all our kids. It was so simple. And once, and we are now at that stage because of people like you and Mike, you know, Keith, I could go on, Carolyn, but thank you so much. At this time, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Congratulations.
Can I say
Yes, please.
Just real quick before we go on, we've never named a school after an individual. It's always been after the community it's from or the geographic area, except Bob Hope. But years ago, Mike Frazier and I were talking, and I said, we should, someday, hopefully, we can name a school after you, Mr. Frazier. And he said, please never name a school after me. The only person that deserves a school named after them is Juan Alvarado. So, just so you know, we had Mike's blessings years ago, if this ever came available, and so, thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
Mr. President, board members, superintendent, your staff, I appreciate everything. You know, I've done something, but I've conquered what you see here. Beautiful. Just keep going. Remember, the kids are number one. And believe me, I had just come out of open heart surgery, out of intensive care. Mr. Frazier, Homero, Dr. Anthony, went to see me. Mr. Frazier had the papers for me to sign to run again. I said, Mr. Frazier, the doctor said no more. He said, okay, I'm gonna bring by a person who's interested. I said, well, let me know. Is that person interested in the kids? He said, I think you will like it. I said, well, who is it? He told me. I said, well, yes, I went with her mom to school. It's a good family. He ordered to the kids, and each one of them, Mr. Diaz, he called me, Juan, I want for you to meet somebody to run for the board. And we met at the Esquinita. Ms. Carrillo also mentioned, Mike told me about him. I said, yes. Bernal, I mean, what can I say about Flo? You can tell that each one of you had the heart for the kids. That's what counts. That's why you all are sitting there. Because believe me, when I started here on this board, meetings would last until 2 o'clock in the morning, arguing. Because I would ask a question, the assistant superintendent for finance would answer the question, not the superintendent. She would get very angry, but we were just asking a question for her not to interfere. There were big fights in the little hall, not with me, but other personnel from the district, because they found out what was going on. Believe me. My first encounter that I had was when I attended my first PTA meeting. I asked the president of the PTA, the cafeteria was filthy, septic tanks were uncovered, and paper all over the windows. It smelled terrible. So I got up and asked the president of the PTA, what can we do as parents to clean this up? Our kids can't eat like this. She said, well, this is not the place for you to ask those questions. I said, okay. I got up next morning, I met with the superintendent. I said, let's take a walk. So we walked back there. I said, open the windows. Would you eat here? He said, no. I said, how do you expect our kids to eat here like this? I mean, we worked, it was not only me, but I started the ball rolling with the parents. And believe me, I had a lot of backing from all the community. Every community followed me. I was PTA president for 2 years in a row. People would call me, parents would call me, we have this problem. I would come to the superintendent. Because, I don't know, maybe they didn't have the money to do it, I don't know. But they didn't see what was needed for our kids. It was terrible, believe me, it was terrible. I'm so glad to see all these y'all board members united. That's the number one, united. that you can move mountains and look at the surroundings compared to what I was. And I thank all of you. Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Keep going, because you'll have a big job in front of you. And I admire y'all for sticking together, your superintendent, Dr. Ball, and your staff, you know, it's beautiful. I know Dr. Ball since she started teaching you, 95. I invited her and I forgot the other name.
Jose.
Yes, to my house. They sat on a corner. They weren't just teachers, but the board members were there. But, you know, like I said, when you leave this boardroom, you're not a board member. Just when you're sitting here. Don't forget that. And whenever you always hear the parents, but let the superintendent know what the complaint is. Never try to take care of yourself. Let your superintendent take care of it, and it'll work fine. And I commend all of you for doing a good job, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're gonna come around and take a picture with you, Juan, and then after the picture, we're gonna take about a 10-minute break. We got some refreshments in the next room.
At this time, we'd like to present this plaque to Mr. Juan M. Alvarado in grateful recognition of Mr. Alvarado's lifelong commitment to Southwest ISD and the community. Your tireless dedication and countless contributions are deeply appreciated. In honor of your remarkable service, Southwest ISD proudly names its 12th elementary school Juan M. Alvarado Elementary School.
Great. Smile, everybody, right here. One, right here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Okay. Hold that pose. Go ahead, family.
Yay, Uncle Juan!
She's watching, you know, she's watching.
She's here.
She's here.
She's always with us, you know.
She's right there. She waited for time.
We love you.
We love you.
That was a long time ago.
Oldies but goodies.
You are our PTA president. That we have, and you can take pictures, so please continue to join us in your celebration.
Is it consent agenda next or how?
Yes. Okay, we come back from our little recess at 6:50. And we'll jump into the consent agenda. Board members, you've had that before you. Any questions? Any item need to be pulled?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Items of information. Construction update. Thomas?
Yeah, we got one item, Tom's gonna come up, it's gonna be,
Yes, sir, just on the, so tonight we have a board action item that's coming up under the business and finance for the schematic design approval or recommendation. for the new central administration building. So during the construction report, Carl Hornbuckle with RBK and James Sines with KenCon are going to go through that schematic design process, and then we will have the action items later at the board meeting. So they can answer any questions you have after the presentation.
So I can make this full screen. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Superintendent Ball. Thank you so much for this opportunity. As Thomas said, my name is Carr Hornbuckle. I'm an architect at RVK Architects, and my colleague James Sines is here from KenCon. He is our construction manager that has been selected for the new central office at Professional Development Center. We would like to present to you tonight the next iteration of our design, which is at the completion of our schematic design phase. As you may recall, we are looking at a new facility that would be located very close to where we are right now. This site plan basically shows us the footprint. It looks like it's in two pieces, but it's actually connected at the second level of the building. And it sits basically immediately behind the building we are in now, which is right here on the site. Once all of the former buildings, the single-story buildings where individual offices are housed, are taken down, there will be an expansion of parking that's proposed to complement the use of this facility, not only as central office, but for more professional development events throughout the district. So what's illustrated here is a total of over 300 parking spaces. As a reminder, the occupancy of this building is around 125 people. So we have space for around 100 current employees and have built-in programmed about 20 future employees. So we've got about a 20% delta for growth, for near-term growth. The other thing about the site plan I'll mention is that we are accounting for a location where this building could be expanded. It could grow, the footprint could grow in the future. So we're taking that into account now from our planning point of view. If we start to look now at the floor plan in more detail, you still see those two parts of the building. The portion on the left, which we're calling Building B, is the two-story building. That's really where the most of the district administrative services will take place. The portion on the right, which is Building A, that is where the boardroom and professional development meeting rooms are, along with the communications department. I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit more closely. So what you see here, that building has its own dedicated lobby space. We see that as being useful because when you have activities like this evening, where you have a board meeting taking place, you can open this portion of the overall facility, but you don't have to have the whole building opened up. Similarly, during the day, when you have just regular occurrences of business going on for the district, this side of the campus could still be locked, so you have some security there. As I mentioned, this also supports the communications department. In this footprint, this portion of the building primarily is single story. So we have a little bit more height available to us, just like in this space we're in now. You get a little bit taller ceiling space in your boardroom, professional development rooms. I also did want to mention that in visiting facilities together, we had an opportunity to look at the new central office for San Antonio School District, as well as the central office for Alamo Colleges. And there was some discussion about the boardrooms that each of those two districts have. This boardroom configuration is a linear space. It's a combination of 3 distinct rooms that can be partitioned for smaller group use or opened for our largest meetings. And that linear configuration is similar to the configuration we saw at SAISD. However, proportionally, SAISD is a significantly larger and, more importantly, significantly longer room. So for our space that we would be creating for Southwest, we do have some of that same linear distance, but it's not nearly as long or as far from the dais at the back of the room when the entire room is opened up. So you don't have, it's the same shape, but not the same proportion as what we looked at for San Antonio. We did explore, I'll just mention, we did explore a more square shape like what was seen, what we visited at Alamo Colleges. But the one consideration that you have with that type of space is that you have to have partitions that close the space off that can't go from wall to wall. They have to go from wall to partition. And when a partition meets a partition, it gets more expensive. So it's more cost effective for us to look at this sequence of spaces. It means we're better able to navigate going into individual rooms. With a square, you end up having a room that you can't necessarily get to. You have to go outside or come around the building to get to it. So we really felt this was the recommendation we wanted to bring to you all in terms of the best and highest use for the facility, not only when the board meets, but how the district can make use of this throughout the school year. Looking then back at Building B, at our two-story building, what you see here is that primarily the spaces that we have on the first floor of the building would house our business and finance department, along with our human resources and administration departments. We have some support areas for testing, both group testing like a computer lab, along with individual testing rooms. All of that takes place behind a secure lobby, so anyone visiting with business to do here would check in before they have access to the rest of the building. And that's similar to how many of your schools are being designed now in terms of creating that extra layer of security upon entering the building. Another distinct space that we have on the main floor that I wanted to point out is this common shared break room for the building, for all of the building's occupants. We looked at that as something that you all could consider as an alternative to create more of a wellness center. Use that space instead. It's the same square footage, but we would use that as an exercise room, a workout room. We would take a portion of that space and create two individual rooms for showers and changing for employees. A lot of the discussion of that and enthusiasm for having these types of components, we had to measure against where we were in terms of square footage and budget. That's part of why we anticipate in the long run that this building could be expanded upon. So I think one of the things that we're interested in the board being able to give direction on is whether we have that wellness center in this footprint, or if we want to create that common shared break room. If we don't have that break room, obviously employees still have the ability to eat at their desk. They can make use of conference rooms during the day if they're not otherwise booked for a meeting. So I mean, there'd be other spaces to do that, but it's another gathering space that you could have in the building. I'll go ahead and move on and keep sharing more of what's in the facility. This is when we look at the second floor. On the left is primarily the space that's given over to curriculum and instruction departmental teams. And then on the right is the component that we're calling the bridge. So the bridge is what actually links the building on the second floor from side to side, and that is where the executive offices would be, the superintendent of schools, deputy superintendent, a future district chief of staff, so we have one extra office space there, along with the superintendent's conference room. So we do have both a conference meeting space there that the superintendent and senior staff can make use of, along with a dedicated conference room that would be sound secure for board executive conference downstairs next to the main boardroom. So you don't have to traverse upstairs or traverse elsewhere in the building for your going into executive session. As I mentioned, with the balance of space on the second floor, this would be for curriculum and instruction. We have a number of shared conference rooms, both large and small, throughout the building on both floors. You see some of them here. And then all of the building support is really stacked in the middle of the building, our restrooms, our other support areas. So that's kind of mirrored from floor to floor. I'll wrap the presentation up by just sharing some schematic design images for the exterior of the building. So from this vantage point, we would be with a drone sort of above where our existing parking lot is, which is just out here to the side of our current building. We really see that being more of where the visitors would be parking when they're coming, and staff parking would be more deep to the back of the site. So this is that front plaza area and park that we talked about at a conceptual level, kind of how you are introduced to the facility. And when you come down to grade, this is then looking at the front of the overall complex. We're excited about using a mix of materials from our visioning work. We know that one of the highest goals is for this to look and feel like Southwest. And so we think we are accomplishing that through having a palette that combines both brick with a blend of concrete masonry, use of metal panel, and then emphasizing more of the opportunity for glazing and glass at the second floor rather than on our first floor, where you have more opportunity with it being upstairs to not be as concerned about security with too much glazing at the main floor. This brings us over closer to the building so you can see that ground level connectivity through with the bridge connecting on the second floor. If there are larger events happening that you would want to stage here, you can really make use of both sides of the building this way, while letting the building itself do its business of staying secure. And then right here in the middle, you see where that entry point would be to come in for board meetings or use of the professional development space. Just to your right here is where the entrance is into the central office proper. As I move a little bit further back from the building, one thing I wanted to mention also is that on this facade, where that break room would be potentially, we do see that as an opportunity to let the building open up to a shaded patio area. So if you are having lunch or something and you wanted to step outside, it would be very convenient right there to step out of the building and have that be attached to this larger park area. And then if I come around to the building on the other side, this is what you see of the outside of the boardroom building, looking at the bridge from the north, more from the staff parking. So you get that view through to the rest of the plaza and park area. So with that, if you have any questions for me or for James, we'd be glad to help answer those at this time.
I just want to say that this is just beautiful. And that when we went to go tour that site that Dr. Ball wanted us to go look at, I just in my head thought there's no way we can get something that beautiful with our budget. And you've delivered something just much more beautiful. I mean, really, Carr. And you just, it's, I mean, you've always brought us the best. Your work has always been the best. But this is just like unbelievably beautiful.
It's gonna
Thank
be
you,
really
Carr.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, we had total, I had total confidence in you, but seeing this, it's like, just really hit it out of the park.
One thing that you mentioned, Carr, that you might want to talk about is the elevators. You had mentioned about an elevator and then possibly if we ever need another one.
Yes, let me go back to that on the floor plan. So what we are accounting for, being sensitive to budget, is that we have our main elevator, our primary elevator for the building is right next to our main lobby. So any visitors, as soon as they come, or any staff, once you've entered at the main lobby, the elevator is right there to take you through both floors. But we are accounting for space where we could in the future add a secondary elevator that would connect into the end of the bridge that is on top of Building A. So you would get connectivity into that building as well. So we don't see that that is something that we would pay for installing that elevator right now, but we want to set the space up so that you can add that elevator in time without having to go back and do a lot of rework on the building.
That sounds good.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Was that all for construction
Stand, Chair.
update? Okay. Board members, monthly tax report, financial report, investment report, gifts and bequests. Any questions? Hearing none. Enrollment report. You have that on page 102. I'm trying to read all these little numbers. Where's the total?
For the enrollment?
It's not in, I don't see it.
14,216 as compared to 13,771 the previous year, so we're looking good. Okay, Purchases over 50. Science Instructional Materials Adoption Committee and timeline for 23-24. Is that where you were
Yes, sorry.
jumping to?
Good evening, Mr. President and Board. We have our Director of Teaching and Learning, Ms. Bonnie Robinson, who will be taking us through this information.
Good evening, President Vasquez, board members, Dr. Ball, and senior staff. I am Bonnie Robinson, the Director of Teaching and Learning, and thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak this evening. This is an item of information to let you know that the proclamation of 2024, which involves selecting science instructional materials for the grade levels kinder to 12th grade, is going into effect. The Science Committee has already been established, and each administrator team has selected a committee member to represent their campus. And we believe this group represents all targeted areas, all grade spans, special populations, I guess I can put it there, all special populations, including GT, special ed, bilingual teachers, and experience levels. You will find in your packet all of the campus and district committee names that were nominated by the campuses. In addition, there's those. That's the elementary, and that's the district. In addition, you have a timeline of the events for the selection process, and in the spring, we'll be back to present the final selection for your approval. That was short and sweet, so do you have any questions for me?
Well, that was short and sweet. Board members, any questions? Thank you, Bonnie. Okay. Safety and security risk assessment.
We have Mr. Figueroa that's going to give us some information.
Good evening, Dr. Ball and board members.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me to present this evening. District has always placed a priority on ensuring the safety of our staff, students, and visitors on all of our sites. It's a recommendation for all K-12 school districts that they implement a layered approach to safety and security, which involves integrating emergency planning, staff and student training, exercising of emergency drills, hardening of facilities, and also integrating security technology resources such as surveillance cameras and access control. We've been fortunate as a district to receive funding through state grants as well as a recently passed community bond that will help us support this integration. To ensure that our public funds are used wisely and efficiently, we solicited proposals from several qualified safety and security risk assessment consulting firms to assess our current safety and security program and assist our staff with selecting appropriate technologies that will be sustainable for years to come. We created a district-wide committee which composed of representatives from safety, operations, purchasing, facilities maintenance, and our police department. We recommended, after reviewing proposals from three individual firms, that we move forward with Global 6 Defense, or M6 Global Defense, to conduct a district-wide safety and security risk assessment. This recommendation was also presented to our Southwest ISD Safety and Security Committee last month. Cost of this risk assessment will be $48,295.47, and funding for this assessment would come from local funds. This is an item of information, and I do have representatives, Mr. Mike Matranga and Mike Monsiv, to present a little bit about what they're going to be doing and how the process is going to be rolled out.
Thank you for having us. If you don't mind, I'll just talk loud instead of reaching over. My name is Mike Matranga. Thank you, President Vasquez, Dr. Ball, for having us, and board members. I also am a former board member myself, so I've sat in your seat. I understand the hurdles that you overcome and the work that you put in. So thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for allowing us to witness the honoring Mr. Alvarado tonight. What an honor. So my name is Mike Matrenga. I am a former United States Secret Service agent. I got into school security in 2018. Unfortunately, after the Santa Fe High School shooting, where I was called by my hometown to come back and to build a school security program that was all-encompassing. It wasn't just solely focused on security cameras or access control or police response. It was a holistic approach of breaking down the community, understanding the culture and climate, and understanding that in almost every single case, whether it be a suicide, which we're more likely to have, and is not any less important than an active shooting, that we have to have a holistic approach. We have to have community resources for our students. We have to have support for our staff. We have to take into consideration and leverage technology to build a holistic approach for you. And so at my time spent at Texas City ISD, I came in and I built a team where we became ranked #1 in the state of Texas and #5 in the nation with our holistic approach, where we put the foundational component as understanding behaviors of children and then providing resources for them and integrating that leveraging technology. So who is M6? We have 33 consultants now in 16 states. The majority of us are either former or current Secret Service agents who have authorization to work for us through the United States Secret Service. We have former school resource officers on our team. We have former military special operations men and women on our team. We also have, because we believe in the holistic approach, former educators, superintendents, school administrators that speak the language of your administrators. And we have clinical psychologists because we believe that's really the basis of this, right? So that's who we are. Sorry, trying to move to the next slide. There we go. Nope, maybe not. Should. Oh, there we go. So again, thank you for allowing us to be your assessors, to assess your needs. This is the team that we've comprised to put together for you. You have myself. I've already given my resume. Susan Payne, she was assigned to the National Threat Assessment Center at the United States Secret Service. She's one of probably 6 subject matter experts in behavioral threat assessment. Brett Cooley was the former SRO commander at Texas City ISD. He's also the former, or the officer who arrested and apprehended the Santa Fe shooter. Coit Wilcox was a former United States Secret Service with me. He currently is the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Customs and Border Protection Agency in Houston. You have Dave Haven, who's a 31-year U.S. Army veteran and 17 years with Delta Force. And then Mike Montsev with ASAP Security Services, who provides our technical component. And we have one recent addition on there from our team is Andrew Callis. He brings 25 years of educational experience as an administrator to our team. So we talk about what's the process, and I know we only have about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm trying to speed through this because I want to give you all time to ask questions. But what's the M6 global process? Why are we different? If you talk to most security firms now that are in schools, you guys go to TASA, TASB, you'll probably see me there in the midwinter. What's the things that they're trying to sell you? They're trying to sell you a panic button. They're trying to sell you new analytics. They're trying to sell you things that you don't necessarily need because you haven't mastered the basics and the foundational component of identifying the behaviors in the students, having a resource, having a means to communicate, having a plan. Those are the things that are important. Then we leverage that technology, select technology, the right technology for you. So the process is that we start our assessment with a culture and climate survey, because it's not enough for me just to ask your board members or administrators, how's everything on your campus, right? Most of the time you're gonna say everything's great, but we wanna push out an all-encompassing survey that's anonymous so that we can gather aggregate data, right? aggregate data is going to tell us what the culture and climate is on each individual campus or district-wide to identify the real problems, okay? So that's one source of information where we gather. The second is going to be an in-depth conversation with key stakeholders. And as you can see here, we have even school board members. We want to sit down and talk to some of you guys individually and say, hey, as a school board member, what is it that you want to see? Where do you think the gaps are? How can we improve the culture and climate and the atmosphere at Southwest ISD? Central office admin, campus administrators, professional staff. We even want to talk to some of your kids, of course, because that is what matters. If you can't have a culture and climate where kids feel safe to learn, you're not doing anybody any good. Your kids are going to tell us how they feel, right? So collectively, we'll take your survey and then our in-depth interviews, and then we'll get into the assessment. Each piece of our security starts with a series of layers, just like the Secret Service. I've been to 31 countries, 3 war zones doing advanced work for. I was assigned to President Obama for 8 years. We start with a series of layers: outer, middle, inner. What does that look like? We start from the outer. We look from the outside into your facilities, identifying and mitigating any types of vulnerabilities, and then we look from the inside out, okay? What are those things? Signage, communications, vehicle control, access points, and lighting, intrusion detection, and those particular types of things. Middle perimeter. Why is the middle perimeter so important? Most of your vulnerabilities are going to happen in this middle perimeter. 62% of incidents, not active shootings, just incidents, accidents, things like that happen from the parking lot to the front door. But if you go to a TASB conference, or I'm just picking on them, I'm not no particular reason why, but you're going to see where people are always trying to talk to you about a lock on a classroom door, which are equally as important, but they're not the sole reason or the focus of what we need to be paying attention to. It's, you know, we need to look at research and data that helps us make decisions. So these are some of the things that we would look at in your middle perimeter. And then your inner perimeter. This is going to be your policies, your procedures. We're going to look at your law enforcement response. We're going to look at your law enforcement footprint. And by the way, I commend you guys for adding additional officers. You're one of the first clients that we've had that have actually done that. I did that in 2018, and people thought I was crazy. That we put officers on every elementary campus. So thank you guys for being proactive in that. We're going to look at your footprint and your training staff. We're going to look at things like, do you have an emotional intelligence program? Do you have a behavioral threat assessment program? Is it robust? Who's trained in that? And we're gonna really empower your staff and your training in the training aspect. And then I'll hand it over to Mike Monson for a quick introduction and let him talk about your technical assessment, why that's important, and we'll be doing those at the same time. Okay?
So I'm Mike Monson, as you mentioned, President and CEO of ASAP Security Services, native San Antonio boy. So I appreciate everything here and everything that you did tonight. Means a lot. So the difference between our company and other people who may have presented as a solution is that we don't just put dots on paper. We're the actual practitioners of the people who actually integrate the technology. We know how to assess what you have, what is salvageable, what is the lifespan of that, and how to take technology and utilize what you have, enhance it, and where you need to spend the dollars to really stretch a budget. I did this. Mike mentioned that he had the #1 ranked school in Texas. It was our firm that did that, and that's one of the reasons why you recommended us, is that we were able to take a budget and stretch it significantly. And so he had these great dreams of grandeur, and he had some money to do it, but he did not have enough money to do it. So it took us to sit down and really look at, how do we leverage what you have today? How do we enhance that? How do we take all of these things that you're looking at with these different perimeters, outer, middle, and inner, and really looking at how do we place technology? How do we leverage that? So it's a totally different approach than what you see. And we see time and time again where we speak to schools and we see what goes out as far as an RFP after an assessment's done. And so many times it's where they've marked up a set of plans, they've indicated where you have existing equipment, and they just replace it with new technology in the exact same place, instead of really looking at how you can leverage things to get the best bang for the buck. And so that's what we really bring to the table. We've done this not only in K-12 schools, but just about every vertical industry that there is. So from protecting the most important people in the world, high risk, high net worth individuals, to retail, oil and gas, higher education. So with it, we bring the knowledge of just about every system in the marketplace, with trained experts, engineers on staff, in order to really look at your whole entire district and how do we make that work. So worked with these guys at M6 successfully all over the place at many different school districts, and we've seen that to be a very powerful solution that nobody else can deliver. So that's what's a little different here, is that we actually are practitioners and have the experience and the know-how how to do this.
Yep. I failed to mention that Mike and his team were the ones who took my vision and my team's vision and made that happen, that made us award-winning. Like Mike said, one of the strong points that we bring is that we assess everything. I mean, down to the individual camera. We look at every single lock, all of your gates from the physical perspective, and then we identify, can this be salvageable? What's the life cycle of that? Do they have to rip and replace that? Can we save that money in order to take funds that may be allocated here and then allocate it to more along the lines of counselors or more law enforcement if that's a need? And so just wanted to say that Mike and his team are the ones who took our vision and made us award-winning. So executive summary, what are you going to get at the end of this? At the end of this, you're gonna know probably more than what you want to. Our assessments are very robust. They're extremely comprehensive, and we're going to conduct and have 17 individual reports for each particular building, because we don't want to lump all that together. Now, you will see some consistency in each report, but each particular site will be their own and have their own set of eyes on that and their own assessment. So we'll have your interview synopsis, the results of your survey, so that you as a board can know how your staff and how your stakeholders feel and what their needs and wants are. And then we can sit back and say, okay, this is what you may want, but this is why you don't need it, right? That's what we do best, is we really break down cost. And one of the I guess similar districts that we worked with was Waller ISD, and they had a $15 million budget for us when we spec'd out their bond for them, and we ended up coming in at 13.6, and then just in the last month we shaved off an additional $1 million. So at the end of this, our goal is to, if you have a certain amount of budget, we want to be able to save you some funds so that you have some resources to put other places once you fulfill Texas Education Code 451115, so that you could maybe reallocate those funds to other things that are going to help your community. So, any questions for us? I know that was kind of fast and furious, but I just want to be respectful of your time. Any particular questions for us?
Daniel, you know anything?
No, just after we talked in Austin, and
Sure.
it was definitely a good deal to bring to us, especially some of the ideas we had talked, and I kind of pass along about, since we're building new elementary, just some of the specs you said that would help us out with safety, as far as putting half wall, barrier between. Or
Sure.
Just that, the glass door on the door, just putting that little sidewall for like a cubby takes that line of sight away from the room. So a lot of little stuff like that we probably wouldn't have thought of, implementing, and we can work with our builders and stuff like that. So.
And I was real happy to hear your RBK speak and mention not only once but a few times in their presentation that security was taken into consideration, especially with the upstairs being primarily your glass, your bottom, your first floor being something of substance. And so having the ability to think through that process, those are the things that we do, as well as work with the architects to help design a little small adjustments that would make all the difference in the world in the design phase. And so the goal is that after this assessment is that you have a good plan moving forward as far as priority of what you need to tackle first, and then building that same standard for your for your new schools that you're going to be implementing at your existing schools, so that you have one sheet of glass, one pane of glass to operate from. Most districts in the state of Texas, and not only in the state of Texas, but we work in multiple states. There's just so many moving parts that nothing is integrated, and that's our goal at the end, is to have you very fine-toothed, well-oiled machine. Any other questions?
I just want to say, I met Michael at the committee meeting and saw their presentation and made some phone calls, and I'm really excited about our partnership. Mr. Figueroa, thank you for finding them, and we look forward to working with you guys and hearing back from you soon.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Okay, item 7, Administration Human Resources, nada? Okay. Item 8, B, consider approval of schematic design drawings for the new Central Administration Building Project. Thomas?
We heard a presentation about this, so
Mhm.
we'd like for the board to approve this unless you have any more questions for Thomas.
I know, so you brought up that middle area, do we have to make a decision on that now, or about changing it from a cafeteria to a workout room, or workout room?
No.
Schematic design, because we're still in there, we're still got some process to go through, just to, if we're on the schematic piece, if you like the way the kind of building set, kind of the floors, that's more, in the weed stuff, we'll continue to bring back.
Okay.
We'll be bringing back the design development in about a month.
I move.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. The board approve the schematic design drawings that have been presented by RVK. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Consider approval of the construction delivery method of the new elementary 12.
Yes, sir. As we have done in the past with the last 3 jobs, Southwest ISD staff and Marvin Walk Architecture have discussed and come up with, based on the way things are still going with the market and some of the long lead items for electrical equipment, HVAC equipment, the district and Marvin Walk feel that the construction manager at risk is the best procurement method for the new elementary school. So our recommendation is that we approve construction manager at risk method for the Southwest ISD elementary number 12. And in the board background, we are also asking for approval as that being the selection criteria that we put out in the RFP when we go for that CMR.
I move.
A second.
We have a motion and a second that we approve the construction manager at risk method as a delivery method for the Southwest Juan M. Alvarado Elementary project. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Wow, 39-9. What happened to our $12 million elementaries?
Only 10 years ago.
Consider approval of additional stipends for 23-24. Oh, no. My bad. D, I had already crossed it out. Consider approval of construction delivery method for the Creewall Road School of Arts renovation project.
Yes, sir. This is the same Southwest ISD staff working with Huckabee, because this is going to be an active campus that we will have to phase through during this renovation, including things that may be going on the outside. Our district standard over the past years has been when you have an active campus and there's lots of phasing going on, that we would always like to have that CMR at risk to help us with the phasing portion going into the bid. So the recommendation again is for Creewald School of the Arts renovation to be construction manager at risk. And again, the same points for the selection criteria are there for you.
I move.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve construction manager at risk method for the Creewall Road Elementary School of Arts renovation project. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now, item E, consider approval of additional stipends for 23-24 district compensation plan.
Yes, so we're asking the board to approve some additional item, stipends, for the 23-24 compensation plan. They're kind of listed on the last page. If there's any questions on those.
I move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that we approve the additional stipends as presented to the 23-24 district compensation plan. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Consider voting by resolution for the Bear Appraisal District Board of Directors 2024 term. Board members, we have done this in the past, and the person we've always supported is no longer running.
What is it just?
As you can see, there's candidates. There's 6. Juliana Dusak, City of Albos. John Fisher, Northeast. Dave Gannon, North Side. And Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia, City of San Antonio. Rebecca Reese from Harlandale ISD, and Leo Salas from Somerset ISD. I can tell you that because of the voting numbers, Northeast, North Side, and the City of San Antonio, they will support their candidates, and they're in, okay? What I'd like to recommend is because we have 2 that are from ISDs, Harlandale and Somerset, I would like to split our votes, which is 93, between those 2. Rebecca Reese, 45, and Leo Salas, 48. And, you know, Leo's been a board member at Somerset forever.
Why don't we give them all to the rural person? Because Harlandale's already gonna have a lot of city representation. Maybe he'll be more rural with us.
Okay.
What do you think?
You wanna say that? I mean,
You want me to
yeah.
make the motion?
Yeah.
I make the motion that we give all of our votes to the Somerset ISD candidate.
How many positions are available? 1? Is it just?
No,
for
no, no.
one?
There are 4 or 5.
There's 4 or 5 that are leaving?
No, no, no. It's,
You have to get
whether you're on or you're not
Oh,
on,
okay.
you gotta get reelected every time. I think it's 4 or 5. I should've, no, it wasn't in the letter.
I second.
Okay,
Whatever we do, I don't wanna give anything to the
Yeah.
council person.
Right.
okay, we have a motion and a second that we give the votes to Leo Salas from Somerset ISD, which is 93. Any
What do
questions?
you need, Mona? Clarification?
We have a motion and a second that we give our votes to Leo Salas from Somerset ISD, which is 93.
You were,
Any questions?
you were asking about the positions, it does say right there, the 5 candidates with the greatest number of votes will be declared.
Okay, so it is 5.
5 out of these?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And 3 are shoo-ins.
So maybe we help the one.
Any questions?
Yeah, it's better we just have one, cause.
Okay. So, hearing no other questions, all in favor of giving our 93 votes to Leo Salas from Somerset ISD, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Leo Salas gets 93 votes, for sure. Okay, where am I? Oh, I just put away my agenda.
That's it. We'll go to closed session.
Is that it?
No, there's a couple more. I think.
No, there.
just Nothing.
Oh, we
yeah,
are.
there's a last- there's
You have
nothing
one more
for-
thing?
I would like to publicly thank Annie Britton, for all the stuff that she has done to decorate our central office and give it that warm Christmas feeling. She does all of this, so I know she's not here with us right now, but hopefully she'll get the message of how much we thank her for making it all look so beautiful. And then just want to remind the board that we will have our next brown bag on December 11th, which is a little bit odd because it's a Monday. And we will start at 11. And then, of course, you have the calendar of events, lots and lots of things going on in the month of December, but they're all beautiful and wonderful things.
Alita
Yes, sir.
pointed out the Blue Santa's not on there though.
Oh, we will make sure we add Blue Santa. Oh, there it is, yes.
Oh.
Anything else?
Didn't see the back either.
No, maybe see the back.
Okay,
Oh, the play.
the play?
That, when we walked in, there was a flyer for the play that the high school's putting on Thursday and Friday night.
I hope that you will go on Friday night because that is the night that I am performing.
Oh, you should ride a horse in.
Okay.
Okay, as permitted by sections 551.001 through 551.146 of the Texas Government Code, the Open Meetings Law, we go into closed session at 7:36. We're back at 8:11, and we go to item 11. We're back in open session. Any action?
I move that we approve the superintendent's recommendation on personnel.
A second.
The motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Any other thing?
Yes, I'd also like to thank Mona because I forgot to say she helped me decorate my office. I love poinsettias to get into the Christmas spirit, and just in general, could not do this without Mona. So thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mona.
Fantastico. Board members, anyone have anything? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned at 8:12.